All right. Just kind of going through and finding some bugs to go and trying to crush. We'll see how that goes. Gonna mostly be looking for ones that are running out of time but have almost all the votes that they need. Looking for those threes, some of those fours. Also kind of looking at the ones that I think are going to be important to get resolved. I guess I'm also kind of looking for ones that are pretty easy to check. That one I just opened up, I'm pretty sure that'll be a fast one to be able to go through and grab. All right, not too many more interesting ones there. I'll take a look at these. Titan Renegade. This ticket's a little bit, doesn't seem like all of these things are required. All right, well, let's go give this one a try. Oh, actually, now try the AeroView one afterwards. Ooh, somebody's on that I might. We'll just get into Stanton. The wonderful long black loading screen of doom. Just getting a couple things set up here. Be just a moment. All right. Little bit of tearing going on getting out of the bed. It's not too terrible though. Oh no, do I not have an Avenger Titan that I can even test out? Ha! I don't. It makes it even more embarrassing. Alright, well I guess we're skipping over that bug and we'll go find our own. Let's see. See if I can get a Cutlass spawned normally. See if they've managed to make... Oh, no, of course not, because the last one that I had blew up on the frickin' pad when it bugged out. Alright. Not a Cutlass, then. Saber Comet's kind of fun. Head on over here to D2, grab that Saber Comet. So I guess, yeah, they changed the light too. I like that much better now. Visual cues that your airlock is actually doing something, which is nice. Also looks like they toned down the random floating particles a little bit. Used to be dusty out here. Alright. I have not been down to selling yet. So I'm going to go do that. But I think I have to bounce off this comm array first. Game is really pretty. Alright, let's get us over towards selling. Then we'll see if we can manage to find anything interesting. Let's see. Emergency shelters are pretty boring. Let's go look at the mining post. So we're going to have to quantum around OM6. That might get us close enough. Oh, come on, there we go. A little bit of server lag going on. Not a ton, but enough. We'll start some afterburner here. One thing that I've had a lot of people who didn't understand, I certainly didn't understand it for quite some time as well, with your afterburners, once you get into an atmosphere, so you'll see up here in a few more seconds, because this ship flies along pretty fast, that it will start giving you a maximum airspeed as well as an altitude. As soon as that happens, you are technically within what they consider the atmosphere, I guess, of whatever big body you're next to. And when that happens, a couple of problems can occur. One, you stop regenerating hydrogen fuel, at least at the same rate that you do when you're flying through space. And Second, you also have to use a lot more fuel to keep your speed maintained. It's kind of like if you were to be using your afterburners nonstop all the time. And so I had this problem several times, as well as a few other people had similar problems where they'd run out of fuel and then crash into the surface of the planet. And that was embarrassing, for sure. Another problem that I will warn people about is that with the current visuals of the game, it can be a bit difficult to figure out, like when you're actually near the surface of the planet. You'll kind of see it here a little bit as well, like we're only 80 kilometers away from that Tram-Myers mining, but it looks like we're very far away. And if I don't begin slowing down in the next, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. I'm thinking at about 50 kilometers I'll start slowing down. It's very easy just to fly into the surface of the moon or the planet that you're at. And in this case, we just become another one of those craters that's down there. Alright, I'm going to shed a little bit of speed here, but keep generally going. Always just like looking around a little bit, get some really great shots. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so now you can see we're inside of an atmosphere. The max safe speed and current altitude is on there. Just gonna break the afterburner here a little bit, see if, interesting. Not actually slowing down there. There, it looks like that kicked it out. Just barely see that tiny little mining post out there now. Probably deployed landing gear a little early. Now, for doing surface landings, I pretty much always use third-person view. I'm not quite sure what they expect you to do in the first-person view in the cockpit to be able to land your ship properly, especially in the current state of things. It is risky at best, I would say. A lot of these planets seem to have very uneven, hilly things right at the outsides of their various mining rigs and emergency shelters and whatnot. That can be a little bit problematic as well, because your ship will want to bounce off the surface, which is kind of why I'm sitting here for a moment, just making sure that my ship isn't going to disappear on me. Alright, that looks decent enough. So now we'll manually shut things off. I usually go with the engines first. Then we'll hop out here and go take a look around. See if we can't find any messed up textures or interesting other little things. Ship's staying where it's supposed to be. Looking pretty good. Game's running very, very well. This is probably one of the better builds that I've tested out so far. It's been very consistent. Not sure how many people are on my server right now, but it's pretty good. Just, trying to see if I can break things. I mean, that's pretty minor. I don't know if you guys can see that on the stream, but because of the hill, part of that is just barely sitting above the surface. I'm not even going to bother reporting that. That's pretty worthless. They'll figure that out eventually. More looking for things that are, solid foot off the ground or might be unusable because they aren't close enough. Oh, hey. That was different. Yeah, definitely. Found some fun there. Looks like something's going on there too whenever I run over this object. Could just be the low gravity, maybe? That's kind of what it feels like, but yeah, I think that's what's going on. It's low gravity. Alright. Thought there might be some clipping issues there. Oh, did I just get stuck? No? Okay. Interesting. High pressure. Wonder what these things are. Obviously, this is a mining outpost, so I'd guess they're doing some sort of mining thing. Almost looks like a giant laser gun pointed right at the ground. Might be what it is. This is cool to see. Being able to stack cargo out here. It looks like there's a preformed pad, sort of. Pad kind of, goes underground up here, but what are you going to expect at this point in the game development? But yeah, no, that's going to be super duper useful. You won't actually have to build structures like this just to store your mining materials. And then in theory, actually, over here, this looks pretty freaking big. You should probably be able to land your Banu Merchantman right about there, pick all this stuff up, haul it off. Alright, let's go inside and see if we can't find anything fun inside that's out there. Wonder what that is. Wonder if they're just there to look cool. Low gravity is interesting. Ooh. Ooh! I just got stuck again. Let's try that again. Yeah, there seems to almost be like a recovery period after you go flying through the air. Low gravity. A little bit of delay there. I do like the new lighting transitions that they did. Don't think you can pull the cell. Soon, GM. I want to touch it though. Putting a sticker on it that says "Do not touch" or "No touch" just makes me want to touch it. Yeah, it's a pretty nice instant carry-out container if you look at that. Metal handle. Looks like high quality. I'm gonna guess some sort of paper product, but who knows? Could be metal as well. That'd be kind of fun. Does that say? I can read the no touch part, but remember, Lodos, no touch. fizz energy drink, empty energy drinks, more Big Benny's. That's partially eaten, man. People wasting good food. Stuff's delicious. I have a Benny's vending machine that I picked up a while back. That will certainly be living on one of my ships. Man, these guys are slobs. This is the living quarters. If you watched, I think there was an ATV or something like that where they went over a lot of this, although it looks like the sticky notes have changed. See outside, you can see our comet over there. A little bit of glare in the glass, but that's fine. Kind of what you would expect. Although I think that in the future they'd be able to have some form of anti-glare glass, so you wouldn't have to worry about it so much. Decontamination kit. Alright, well, nothing really exciting here. Not a lot to interact with. I don't see any floating crates or any kind of other oddnesses going on. I mean, one might argue that the haze, the light haze off of this light is a little bit odd. There's no kind of top cover to that light, and so there shouldn't be anything blocking it from just dispersing in that smoke more, but not going to file a ticket about that. That seems a bit pedantic. Maybe if I get bored or just run out of things to do. Do like the new lighting that they did on those. It's pretty cool. So these look like some sort of extractor thing. Guessing these are probably some of the more main mining rigs, or maybe they're trying to get some sort of liquid out, and they kind of look like a pump system. And over on the far side there, it looks like that's a big mining laser. And then whatever this cross-shaped thing, I would guess that this is some form of an extractor unit that basically pulls up whatever that thing right there is getting. That's kind of fun. Really jump on this moon. Or I used to be able to jump before I went to fourth person or third person. Alright, now I'm just stuck. Not sure what that's about. It does seem like jumping in this atmosphere, or lack of atmosphere, and in this gravity causes you to get stuck. And I actually, just when I was jumping there, I clipped something invisible. Don't know if you guys caught that. It readjusted my angle. That's a big rock over there. I'm gonna go get to the top of this rock and jump off it. Why? I don't know. Seems like fun. So one thing I'll note for exploring, if you want to run around on the surface of a planet and not have your heart blow up every, like, I don't know, 25 seconds or whatnot, don't wear armor. You don't need armor unless you're going to be shooting things. And at this point in the game, we're not trying to test it for its shooting mechanics. That's kind of not the right thing to be doing in the PTU anyway. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to make it up. Okay, let's go to third person here and see if I can. Oh, come on. Oh, it's freaking out. It's freaking out, man. There we go. Does not want to let me up there. It's almost like I'm hitting my head on something, which could be the case with this type of an asset, but I feel like they've done better than that so far. See if I can get an angle up and then cross back. Yes, there it is. Wall walking, so delicious. Just saw it say pop up shopkeep for some reason right here. What if there's a, what if this rock is a shopkeep? Is it selling rocks? Well, that's kind of a nice little view. Alrighty then. Let's see if we can back up here. Run and jump! Another shock key prompt. Oh, probably just broke my leg. No, didn't break my leg. Fancy that. That doesn't happen very often. The not breaking your leg when you jump off stuff. Alright, let's go to another location on the surface of this planet. Probably take us a little bit to fly there, or I could just bounce around, we'll see. By bounce around, I mean hit an ohm point from the atmosphere. I think you can quantum from Atmo, which seems a little bit ridiculous if you can, but we'll see. Nope, not seeing one. I'm guessing you probably have to be out of the atmosphere. Alright, let's find what the nearest one is. Ugh, 65 kilometers. I'm going to be a little bit lazy. I'm going to burn some fuel to get back up into space. And then I'm going to go over and then back down again, which I think will be a little bit faster. Because cruising along the surface at like, I don't know, 230 I think is the top speed of this, versus burning hard to get up here into space, then burning over and then dropping down, probably a little bit faster. Looks like that's looks like that HUD, one, shouldn't be there right now, but two, it is inverted. Huh. Ship is doing some weird things. What is going on here? That was weird. I'm guessing I was hitting like just the edge of the atmosphere, but that doesn't make sense for why I was getting the red out effect. It's going to make it a lot harder to actually see where I'm going. That looks probably good enough. We can start burning in. Yeah, getting very inconsistent usage of the afterburner there. But you can see what I was talking about a little bit there. Burning your afterburners these days uses a lot of fuel, back at 86% fuel. So you see the, let's see if I can highlight that. Right here is your fuel bar for your hydrogen fuel. You just see it went up to 87. That is because I'm still in space. It is regenerating. No idea what this number means. If anybody knows what this number means, I would love to know. I think it goes to 0 when you set your thrust to 0, but that's about the only thing that seems consistent on it. This is what I was talking about with crashing into planets. It's okay. Good thing your ship's indestructible, right? By the way, when I flipped around like that, it was full afterburner in the opposite direction, and it was not shedding speed like it should. Or at least like I would expect it to, honestly. Headlights are not working very well here, are they? Let's see if we can find a decent landing. Oh, those are landing pads. It's on me. About to try and land on the surface over here. A lot of pads for a research outpost. Okay. Probably could have just auto-landed, but where's the fun in that? Bouncing off the deck. Okay, I think I'm firmly planted now. Oh, hey, I did take some damage. Look, I'm missing a wing. That's cool. I would have expected to, have been dead if I had crashed into the surface of a planet moving 1,000 meters per second, but video games. All right. This is another one of the outposts I have not been to. Pretty cool. It's got all these nice landing pads. All right, make sure that this ship is not going to fly away on me. Nope, look like that's going to be good. It's kind of neat. Pretty dark, though. I mean, it is the dark side of the planet right now, so kind of makes sense, but if this were my base, I'd have a few lights out here, just saying. Especially with how quickly these places rotate. Although I think Sellen's a moon, as I recall, so. Oh, hey. Those are either strawberries or peppers. The plant kind of looks like a strawberry, but I don't remember strawberries ever growing like that. Granted, we are on an alien, everything, so kind of look like strawberries. Got some, I don't even know what those might be. It's a weird shape. Looks like aloe vera right there. That's what I would go with on that one. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I've seen these on one of the other planets. I think the desert planet has whatever those things are. Looks like these are just cookie cutter. Oops. That was weird. Cookie cutter kind of things. No, actually a little bit different. Yeah, I think I've seen that tumbleweed thing somewhere as well. Wonder if I can. Oh, gosh, running around in a low gravity situation is a little bit annoying. Can't interact with this. Did get a little bit more glitchy when I tried. See if that. Yeah. I'm just going to guess that's because there's functionality that's supposed to be there, but isn't there quite yet. Probably supposed to be interact with that screen, and since the screen doesn't really exist yet, can't do it. I'm not going to bother reporting that one just because it seems like a feature rather than a bug. See if we can't find any new plants that I haven't seen before. Nope, those look all pretty standard. So I'm noticing, though, in the middle are ferns on all of these. Guessing that that is part of just the cookie cutter template, and then they can possibly rearrange the ones that are on the outside. I would guesstimate that in the future you'll probably have player control over this to some degree, and somehow putting different things into these little chambers will do something, hopefully. We'll see. Maybe they're trying to grow food, or maybe, I'm guessing since this is a research outpost that they're trying to do some sort of genetic research or some, studying the plants and how they fare in different gravities or something. Who knows? So this is actually one of the larger installations that I've been at, I think. where I landed my ship over on the pad's 216 meters away, and I'm not even at the edge of the other pad that's on the opposite side. It does look like there's some services at this pad. Don't know. I didn't look, actually, at the other pad and see if there was something there. Or is that just another module over here? It might be another module over here. A little bit of dirt spilling out onto the pad. It's because they put it, it's a flat object on a hill and it buries into the hill a little bit. It's a teeny weeny little landing pad. I'm going to guess that this is a medical bay. Oop, got stuck again because I was floating and then landed on the ground. So at this point, I'm going to consider that a bug. So at some point, probably once I get done streaming, I'll go back through and I'll try and find somebody else who has reported that particular issue. Use some video from this stream that gets captured. That's pretty cool. I like seeing the model out there. Maybe a little bit impractical at this particular location, but looks like a waiting. Oh, it's like a terminal. That's cool. Spawn ships here. Didn't know that there was a ship spawn over here. That's neat. Assume that this is, just another ship spawner. That's pretty cool. Wonder what the biggest ship that this can handle is. Hey, look, we just found a bug. That should tell you what landing pad there is marked. The fact that it doesn't means that it does. Probably they're unnamed is all that's going on there. Nobody bothered to attach a name to that asset. Oh, look. And I have a Comet and a Pirate edition over here. That's cool. I wonder if I can put the Comet onto the Caterpillar somehow. Stuff it in one of the forward loading bays. Might have to break the wing off for that, but, it's already missing one wing. Well, I must say, this has been super stable, super playable. Oh, I should probably turn on. Did I do that wrong? There we go. That's typoed. 15, 20 frames per second. That's not great, not terrible. Certainly better than the like 10 to 15 that we've been getting in other patches. Can't interact with any of this stuff yet. Can't interact with the power plant still. Not sure what this structure is supposed to be. It looks kind of like a store. Shipping and receiving, maybe? Ah. Let's see what this place has. Doesn't look like it has anything. That is unfortunate. Probably end up being a trade hub in the future. Seems kind of like an odd place for a trade hub, but what you gonna do? That's pretty beautiful. Oh, hey, look! There's all the doors from my Caterpillar. Known bug. I've already upvoted that one. Seems odd that they'd put solar panels on the backside of the solar panels instead of just having these things pivot, rotate. Especially given how much massive gear that are attached to these things. Seems like an interesting design choice there. Modern solar panels aren't even that complicated. Did I? Yeah. Let's go check out this caterpillar, see how broken it still is. Oh, I didn't actually go into the research outpost, did I? Should probably do that. Do that and then get in the caterpillar. Must say, they did a pretty good job of making these things happen. They seem pretty solid. I have yet to actually even find a single issue with any of them. Granted, I've only been to about a dozen of them or so. Most of the ones on Daymar at this point. Maybe I'll go do that next. We'll go see if we can't find that javelin again. That was kind of fun. Kind of a pain in the butt, but fun nonetheless. This is pretty cool. What is going on there? Oop, did I just get stuck? I'm a little bit stuck. Yeah, oh, there we go. See if I can do that again. Oh yeah, interesting. I wonder what's going on there. Totally stuck. So if I run at this corner, jump, I like fall, and then I get stuck for a little bit. Again, issue with the low gravity, I think. Player kind of gets stunned for a bit. This is pretty cool. Nope, somebody needs to water that one. Also, guessing that it probably wants to be growing in something rather than on a metal dish, but you know, I'm not the biologist here. Or exobiologist, I guess. Ah, yes. These things. These are cool. Real concept here. We've been talking about doing these sorts of grow operations for space for a long time. Very low water utilization for these. They're very efficient. And have pretty decent growing. Caterpillars getting put away. Probably a good thing. Flying around in a caterpillar is slow and arduous. Those are cool. Too bad I can't eat one. Just grab it. Oh. Didn't actually put it away, so it just gave me the audio message for putting away, but then didn't. Alright, well, this was cool. Another location checked out. Didn't really see. That is somebody else. I'm going to go leave them alone. Let's see. Oh, it did. It did store the pirate. Although it says that the pirate caterpillar is now 0 meters. That would be another bug. Cool. I'm guessing it didn't store my comet because I landed it manually. Probably should have grabbed a ship that doesn't have damage, but whatever. What's a wing? It's a rocket engine anyway. J-Turn21. Do not know that person. Alright. Where to next? What is close? Emergency shelters are boring. It's like mining, emergency shelter, and then the hydroponics could be fun. Interesting that I lost fuel while the ship was off. was at 86, 87 before. Let's go to the Terra Mills Hydro. Well, oops, do the same burnout thing that we did last time. See how quickly that fuel is dropping there on the hydrogen meter. Oh, and hey, just regenerated a little bit there when I kicked off the afterburner, so maybe they fixed that. Maybe that was a bug before where you weren't properly generating hydrogen while you were in an atmosphere. Certainly was annoying. Getting a bunch of frame rate drop now. It's probably the CPU spiking. Yeah, look at that latency, just shot right up there. Interesting. All right. A little bit of blacking out going on. Just a little bit. That was kind of fun. I hadn't actually ever fully blacked out. Alright, it's going to be a little bit before we get there. It's 350 meters or kilometers away. Just a couple minutes of flight time here. And unfortunately, there's no great way to actually be able to keep an eye on it. Like, I wish that you could do better tracking in this game or get some sort of directional on your HUD. It'd be nice, but maybe eventually. In the meantime, now, just Z key and look up. It's funny, a lot of the people that I've flown with have, whenever I do this, where I have the canopy facing the surface of the planet, especially when flying lower to the surface, they get very edgy about it, my experience. Lots of questions about why you're flying upside down and that sort of a thing, so you can see better. If I was dogfighting, I wouldn't be doing it, because I'd want to see up rather than to the side. That is interesting. Not sure why it's rotating the ship quite like that, but it's using one of the thumbsticks to reorient a little bit. And again, this number meaning almost nothing sensible. Don't understand. Issue there. Afterburners did not kick in. That's kind of interesting. Little bit glitchy, but not too bad. $240 meters out. Again, travel times in Star Citizen are kind of intended to be a bit long. And this is just one moon in a system with a bunch more moons around one planet in a system. I believe the system has a few more planets. I can't remember. I have to go look at the main map to figure that out. And then it's just one system amongst dozens and dozens and dozens of other systems. Some of those systems have way more planets, tons more moons. Some of them are smaller. It'll be interesting. It's going to be definitely a lot to explore. And of course, there's going to be all the stuff that's in between the different destinations. So like right now on the Moby-Glass, if we go look at the system that I'm currently in, wait for the Moby-Glass to brighten up and draw things in here a little bit. Between like these two comma rays, for example, you might be able to find a derelict ship that you can go investigate or some other thing that could be fun to go check out. And then there'll be Crusader's the planet here. Delamar's the furthest out moon, I believe. And then eventually we'll be able to zoom way out here, be able to get to Hurston. And I want to say there's another planet that's supposed to be in this system. Oh, did I just see it? Maybe that's it over there. Yeah, the ArcCorp one. Oh, there's 4, as I recall. Sorry. Should probably know these things before I start talking about them, but yeah, as I recall, there's 4 main planets. Hey, that afterburner's not kicking in again. There we go. Super delayed. I didn't hit any buttons. I only made the turn. But yeah, as I recall, each one of these planets is owned by a corporation, basically. They do all the things that are happening on these planets. "120 kilometers more to go." I'm guessing that there's probably an OM point that I could have QT'd to that would have been a little bit faster, but mistakes. It's okay. It's allowing me to regenerate some of that hydrogen fuel, which I'm just going to talk about one more time. So, oh, I even hit Z. I need to disable the mouse flying entirely anyway. Put it on mouse mode. So yeah, you see here that it was at 86, went up to 87, it's been down to 84. You do regenerate while you're flying. Well, assuming you're not just using your afterburners nonstop. So the frame rate is dropping a bit, but one thing I will note is that the latency seems to also be kind of going in parallel to that. So I'm guessing that, well, not guessing, we do know that a lot of that frame rate drop that you're seeing is server-based. It looks like we're in the dark side of the moon here again. Try to not crash into the planet, or the moon this time. Gonna guess another 4 seconds or so. Oh, just entered the atmosphere. All right. Getting a lot of shake on the stick. Well, not literally on the stick, but it's trying to move around a lot because of the atmosphere. That was one of the things that they had talked about. Wow, I might black out here. Interesting. Thankfully, I throttled down before that. And hey! That's an interesting bug that just occurred. Or is it just that it's so dark I can't actually see any definition? I think that's what's actually going on. I thought the planet had disappeared there, or the moon had disappeared there for a second. No, it's just so dark that you can't see anything. Kind of annoying. Alright, we're going to afterburn down to the surface a little bit. Again, trying to avoid the crashing into the surface of the planet, which at this point, got no idea how far it actually is away. That current altitude means nothing. Also, always a bit disconcerted that throttling down does not actually shed speed. And like here, I'm full on afterburner, facing up into the air and just barely shedding speed. I don't quite follow that one. It's okay. We didn't crash this time. Looks like this one has a landing pad as well, and the frame rate is just getting terrible. That's unfortunate. Interesting. It's an actual armistice zone. frame rate is getting a little bit hard. It's telling me that I'm getting 10 FPS at times. I don't believe that for a moment. It is locking up and freezing up quite a bit. That's why I'm trying to be careful about setting this thing down. Don't want to just slam it into the ground. Slammed it into the ground anyway. Funny. It's getting a bit brutal on the frame rate. All right, let's see if we can turn this off. Hop out. Let's see what we've got going on here at this hydrocorp. Or, this is, yeah, hydroponics is I think what they're supposed to be doing here. Growing food. Although it almost looks to me like they have a smaller operation going here than the other place that I was just at. The research facility. Probably less money in growing food than there is in research. I think this is just another landing pad over here. We'll go take a look. Wow. Did it just drift off? Where did my ship go? Maybe it got stored? The landing pad ate it. I'm just going to leave it at that. Looks like this landing pad's getting a little bit overrun by the dirt as well. Not a big deal. So I think I saw one of those like waiting terminal things over there. I should be able to spawn another ship to get out of here. If not, then my only options would be to run to somewhere where I can spawn a ship or kill myself. Probably go with the latter there. It's a lot faster to just wake up in Olisar. Granted, once the game actually releases, that will be a terrible option because player death is going to be all sorts of bad. Hopefully they will start getting some of the issues where, you know, your ship despawns and don't know where it ended up kind of a thing will go away. Hey, watermelon. Hey, it's some of those blue things. Looks like the model for the blue thing is a little bit messed up there. If you see what I'm talking about. When you look at it from this angle, the leaves don't have depth, so they don't show up normally. They're basically transparent from this particular angle. So that will be a very easy bug to put in. Super trivial issue there. It's an interesting way to cut up pineapple. Using a scalpel, no less. And yeah, I think I said pineapple, didn't I? Watermelon. Words, they're hard. Tools. It's a tools bag. What are these? That is a weird looking fruit. Those do not look very healthy. Big bennies. Potassium powder? So you got big bennies, whatever this powder stuff is, and anti-acid tablets. Man. Interesting life choices being made around here. Oh, you can't see through the magnifying glass. That's a shame. I'm not going to bother reporting that, though. It's a lot of anti-acid tabs around here. That's what these are. They say anti-acid tablets on the side. Guess whatever those strange fruits and vegetables are there are not so great for the human digestive system. Alright. Hopefully, some of these buildings are a little bit different. Don't know if you guys noticed or you can even hear it on the stream, but they're doing a pretty good job of dampening sound and handling sound when you are outside as opposed to inside pretty well. Another bit of that kind of realism that Star Citizen's trying to capture. And again, there seems to be a bunch of people have joined recently onto the stream, going over 3.0 Star Citizen. This is just the addition of commerce and transportation related things and a few other mechanics, surface landing, whatnot. This is not the full game or anything close to it. Just kind of running around some of the outposts right now and taking a look at the various different things that I find. This is another one of those shops that they just kind of put down as a cookie cutter thing. You could buy and sell cargo. Ooh, it knows about the caterpillar. Interesting. I kind of wonder, that caterpillar got stored at the other landing pad. I'm going to take a wild stab and say that if I run over to this landing pad right now and try and pull up that caterpillar, that it will get teleported over here. And that's probably not what's supposed to happen. We'll see. Might be wrong. Bounced up in the air a little bit. Again, low gravity is a little bit hard to navigate around on. And okay. That was interesting. Let's try that again, but this time from a third-person perspective. Doing a circle strife is certainly causing some problems for this game right now. Alright, let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'm not trying to walk in toward that wall. Interesting. So there's more physics problems with running around. I'm not sure if it's the physics engine or if that's just, how they handle the low gravity. Don't think it's supposed to be that way, though. This is also kind of cool. I haven't seen one of these yet. Not that I think you can do anything with it or anything like that, but it's nice that they're putting in more, I don't know, more art, more devices, more interesting things to look at. Alright, let's see if we can spawn that. Interesting. There it is. It should not have been able to spawn there, so that is a bug. Be able to go and report that one, or find out if it has already been reported. I'm guessing it's because, like I was kind of mentioning before, they didn't give names to these landing pads, which makes me suspect that there's some other variables and fields that have not been fully filled out. And so I'm guessing that whatever those spawn locations are have the exact same asset characteristics as all of the other ones of that nature that are on this particular moon. So I would guess that you can spawn your ship anywhere on this moon at one of those locations if it's been put away in one of those locations. So probably not what the developers had intended for that. Definitely, capture some of this stream later, use it for video evidence to submit. Before we hop in that caterpillar, hopefully it doesn't get despawned. I'm going to go through the main building real quick. I have a feeling that it's just going to be exactly like the other buildings, maybe a little bit larger, but You never know. Might find something interesting in here. Very minorly different layout so far. The power plant, I think, was on a different wall. Hey. Don't mind if I do. Oh, is it stuck to my hand now? Yep, stuck to my hand. Mmm. Tasty. So technically I am carrying this package right now, but just due to alpha-iness, this happens sometimes. And so the interesting thing will be is if I can put that down into my cargo hold of the caterpillar over here. We'll see. And that was interesting. I didn't know that hitting F would pop you out of third person. Ooh. Okay then. That's a noteworthy bug, I think, right there. You guys see what's going on there because there's a dirt mound over here, the landing pad, which is the large size landing pad, I guess. The back landing gear of this caterpillar actually up on the dirt, and it is forcing the other landing gear to not even be on there. And I suspect that if it was a different ship with a different profile, you might end up with things where your ship clips into the ground, and that could potentially blow up your ship. Not what you want. So we'll, let's see. Definitely want to record some of this. Another bug to report at the Terra Mills Hydro Farm. I'm going to actually get a shot from this side. Yeah, not a bad bug, but that one's probably worth reporting. I could see that causing some problems in other ships or bigger ships, different shaped ships, that kind of thing. All right, now the real question. Can I get into this ship? Uh-oh. Is freaking out a little bit more. And I don't think I'm close enough to... Oh! No! 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 God damn it, it won't let me move! Ah, there we go. Okay. Oh, no! Need my vaulting. Actually, I don't even know because the ship is at this angle that it's at. Oh. Oh, good. And my F key just bugged out. Oh, there it goes. Oh, hey, there's the box. I think I might need a different ship. Pretty confident that that's how this gets resolved. Almost ran off the side automatically. All right, let's see if we can get this to actuate some more. And back down because we need to pick up our food. It's the serious loot right here. Oh, no. Yeah. So this is a problem. This is actually a pretty noteworthy bug then for this particular landing pad. I'm going to jump off again, take another photo with the, take a little bit more video with the ramp down. The ramp's not fully extending to begin with. It should go down, I think, a little bit more, but because of the angle that it's at, you can see how much off the ground those landing pads right there are. It's so far off that you're not going to stand a good chance of being able to get onto your ship here. So this is actually a problem that they should fix, at least with this particular location. So we'll just, take a couple of pictures, capture a little video. Oops, that was the wrong key entirely. There we go. Okay, getting a little bit of video now. So yeah, as noted, it looks like when you spawn the pirate caterpillar, or probably any caterpillar here at the Terra Mills Hydro Farm on Selin, that this mound of dirt at the back of the very large landing pad, which it looks like the landing pad actually extends back here pretty far, it pushes the rear end of the ship up, and then you can't get onto the landing pad or to the loading pad here. I was able to jump from up here and use the low gravity to get back on, see if I can pull that off again. Probably not, because that's one of those things that, it only works once at one time, and then I jump down to take more video. Of course, now I'll be stuck. Probably try this another 50 times and not even get that same result. Alright, I am going to try jumping up a couple more times just because I'm hard-headed like that, and if I can't get it, we'll go get a smaller ship and go somewhere else. I think I might be jumping a little bit too early. Just don't know how I got up the first time, honestly. Oh, that's kind of funny. This almost makes me wonder if this is intentional, but that would seem so weird. I think that what's happening here is that the paint is somehow printing onto the dirt, because it's not doing it everywhere. Like, there's other markings on these landing pads other than the ones that are drawing in right there. So that's kind of interesting as well. Okay. Let's just go get a different ship. I think that's the right solution here. Flying around in that thing anyway is a bit obnoxious. So the Caterpillar is still one of the buggier ships in the game. I don't know if they fixed it a bunch in this most recent patch or not. I'm guessing not so much. You kind of saw how hard it was to even get that landing door down, or loading door down, sorry. And it's kind of been that way. There's a bunch of other bugs inside of the ship. There's a lot of lighting issues. Like the bridge, for example, is completely dark. You have to use your headlamp even when the ship's powered up on it. I don't think they fixed that one yet. There's all sorts of usability issues with the doors, people falling through the ship as well in a couple of places. The name being mangled, as you can see right there. All sorts of issues. So we'll just hopefully despawn that caterpillar there. And grab something that might be a little bit more flyable. I'm actually going to try spawning a Starfarer and see what it does at this place. Part of me hopes that it tries to spawn the Starfarer on top of the caterpillar, because the caterpillar is not on the deck properly. That would make our bug here all the more enjoyable. Ooh, let's actually see if we can get another caterpillar. Oh, there we go. So it's storing that caterpillar. Hey! There you go. I mean, that's kind of a bug, but at the same time, kind of not a bug. The bug that we just saw there is that when you have a caterpillar already on the only landing pad, just destroy. Oh, nope, it spawned it. Okay. That's interesting. So yeah, a little bit of a bug there where the feedback system, so the thing that tells you what's going on, what errors you're getting, indicated that there was an error because there was a caterpillar pirate already on that pad. Was trying to spawn our caterpillar onto the same pad, so it had to store the pirate edition, then spawn the caterpillar. It managed to complete all of that but it threw an error while it was doing so, and here we'll probably get to see that error again, where it just says that there isn't a pad that it can spawn. Okay, actually on closer inspection, I don't know if that's wrong. It's a little bit heavy. I think mostly because it says failed to retrieve vehicle up here. That's probably the thing that's most wrong there. I suppose it's not a terrible interaction there, but a little bit misleading, I think. Go see how this Starfarer managed on this particular pad. Can't seem to run anymore, which is interesting. I'm like quick walking, but can't fully run. Yeah, haven't ever had that happen before. That's super annoying. Gosh, that might be me restarting here. I can't actually run anywhere. But we'll get on the Starfarer and we'll go somewhere else first. Since we have it. Since it looks like it managed to do something. Could have sworn that's how you get into this thing. Maybe because I'm carrying the box. Ah! No! 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 God damn it. Getting anchored to the deck. No! Deep sigh, deep sigh. Alright, let's try this again. And I'm stuck to the... Can't move! Can't move! Gonna get crushed by the giant metal door. Okay. Yeah. Even the Starfarer is having some issues with this. It's kind of interesting because its back landing gear are actually decently placed, but it's not great. This is not terrible. Definitely a little bit usable, but I think the reason I wasn't able to hit that door access tab over here was that was just that it was a little bit too high up. And it looks like I can run again, kind of, when I'm not glitching out, so that's nice. One thing I wish they would do is have a light button, you know, so that I can turn on the lights when I get onto my ship immediately. Oh, come on. No, I'll just do it from the pilot seat. Oh, wait. Gotta put my cargo down. Oh, come on. What are you on about? I'm trapped! This might be the server crashing now. Oh. Yep, things are getting weird. I don't know what's going on. I'm trapped in this hallway. I seem to have misplaced the box. Not sure where that went. And I keep getting locked in place for bits of time. These doors will not open. I'm thinking the server is dying. That's an interesting one. Never seen that before. Kind of screenshot that particular console section. That seems to be related to how we ended up in whatever situation we're currently in. So, I'm currently trapped in this hallway. It does not... Oh, I just had to select it. Fancy. Alright. Maybe not trapped in this hallway. don't think that that's going to be helpful to me. Oh wait, nope, that will be helpful. I can do it this way. Oh, come on. Oh, hey, look, it fell out the bottom of the ship. Bugs trying to steal my cargo. Game gets a little bit funny when you're trying to crouch underneath things. It doesn't quite know how to handle that scenario. Alright. Put the box down. I think it should just snap into a place. That should be stored now. I think that just became a part of the ship, basically. I can't actually close the freaking back door, so we'll just leave that alone, apparently. And then I think this is the way that you actually get to the bridge. Alright, now the Starfarer. The worst cockpit in the entire freaking game. I don't understand why they think that this would ever be flyable. Like, look at this. This is all you've got. Metal up here, metal down here. You don't even have like a proper holographic display of what you're around. So imagine trying to land this. Imagine being the pilot of this vessel and trying to land in some kind of close, confined space. You can't. It's just ridiculous. You always end up flying this ship third person, and I just do not appreciate that so much. I am sticking to the ground a little bit. That's not good. Okay. Yep, I think those rear landing gears stuck to the ground a little bit when I set off from there. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to go to Port Olisar. I'm going to land this Starfarer and sell that cargo that I just picked up. Seems like a worthwhile thing to do. This is a abysmally slow ship that is going in the wrong direction currently. That's cool. Okay. Not sure why we were falling there, but now that we're no longer falling. Gonna get us some altitude first. And then I'm going to start climbing out of the atmosphere. Everything you do in a Starfarer is slow, which is fine. Set this to about 35 degrees up. Full speed ahead. Once I have a few thousand more meters, I'll probably go straight up. Just in these big ships, I worry about trying to angle them thrusters down too early. I need to disable the mouse again before I get myself killed. Alright, let's see. Right about there should do it. And now we'll begin afterburner thrust and see if we can manage to not run out of fuel trying to get this thing out of the atmo. The Starfarer is kind of a giant lead brick in space. It's a very pretty ship, though. It's got these fuel canisters on the back here where it can store quantum fuel and collect quantum fuel. I think as well as hydrogen. I think it can do both. And then it does have the ability to harvest as well. I think somewhere up on the front here there is some sort of device. I think it's actually right in the nose there. Where you'll be able to actually harvest fuel from stars and things like that, and then be able to provide that to your fleet. I think with the hydrogen though, it can just fly around and collect hydrogen as it goes. Very pretty ship. There is this interesting catwalk thing right here. So when they're running the hydrogen or the fuel mining operations and whatnot, I guess there's a couple of posts on this catwalk that I'm looking at right now, that you'll actually have people outside in the of the ship doing things, which is interesting concept there. One thing that they did that I find a little bit annoying is that these back columns, so like if you look to the left and the right of where that engine exhaust is coming out, they're actually hollow and there's hallways in there, and they just don't seem to serve much of a purpose to me. I wish that those were cargo storage space, or had been used for putting fuel in or something like that. I just not a big fan of those particular. That it seems like a waste of space to me. Maybe it'll get fused up with something in the future, but for now, don't know that it's overly necessary. All right, let's see how we're doing. We are out of the atmosphere. Awesome. And now we will find somewhere to go. Zoom back in here to Crusader if it'll let me. It doesn't seem to want to let me. Oh, Moby-Glass. Why are you making this so difficult? Don't even think it'll let me. Well, actually, let me go to ArcCorp now. Come on. No, this will be unfortunate. So my Moby-Glass apparently is not recognizing inputs properly. Let's see if we can... There we go. If in doubt, spam buttons. That seems to have fixed it. I don't think we can go straight to Port Ollie. I think that there's a planet in the way. And while I do believe there's something about being able to quantum through planets right now as a bug, I just generally avoid trying to fly through what should be a generally solid mass. I'm also not a big fan of moving close to the speed of light near a gravity well. I hear it's real bad for your health. So let's see here. Let's see if we can find this beacon. Not quite sure because the navigation is freaking atrocious in this thing. None of those are the quantum points. Cool. So none of them are actually showing up with arrow indicators for me, so I'm just going to have to blindly look around in space. I'm guessing it didn't set properly, so I'm going to double check that. No, it's set as a destination. And I'm pretty sure that all of these markers... Oop, oop, there's one that's not on the planet. There we go. Alright. Over-rotated a little bit. And here we go. Pretty short little jumps. I don't like how these show up as orange from time to time. Orange in this game tells me that it's a criminal or something like that. A little bit misleading, I feel. Just a little bit buggy. Although I do have a little bit of crime stat, not quite sure why. Over-rotated like crazy. Actually, just losing control for some reason. And unfortunately at Port Olisar, I basically do have to use the auto land system. Otherwise, they will get very, very angry with you. Wow, that is dropping me off extremely close to that station. All right, shed the speed and not crash into the station. Wow, okay. Having a lot of control issues for some reason. Doing things that I am not telling it to do. And in fact, I've dropped my speed entirely. I don't know why it's not actually responding. deploying the landing gear helped a lot. That's amusing. And hey, look, there's a ring right there. Just get over this ring here. And we should, I believe, be right above the struts at this point. Try and come to a complete stop. And then we need to request a landing pad. Otherwise, they get uppity about this stuff. Oops, that's not the right thing. Uh-huh. Either they just ignored me, or it is bugging out like it kind of does fairly often. Yeah, I'm guessing this is bugging out a little bit. So, oh, we're going to have to manually look for our landing pad now and hope that there's one marked up. There it is. Now let the fun begin. So for these landing markers, you generally need to get your ship onto this triangle before it will enable you to begin the auto landing sequence. Is that somebody shooting at me? Auto landing is definitely not working right now. Seems like my landing gear is down. Yeah, landing gear is down. Alright, looks like we're going to have to go in for a manual landing. This should be a little bit fun. See if it lets me do it. I have stopped moving my ship on my own, so I'm guessing that it's auto landing at this point. If it's not, then that's pretty good. Okay. Let's see. I can never remember where all of the buttons are. So there's the engines. I think that's the power. So one little interesting other note that I had in there is that the headlamp that I had on, unable to turn it on or off while on the pilot seat. Not sure if that was mostly just a key binding issue or something else. A little bit annoying though, because if you were trying to actually look out the cockpit and you had your helmet light on the entire time, super duper annoying. Wait, this way. Ooh, losing all the frames. So one thing I worry about is that now that we're on Port Olisar and I've got that cargo sitting there, is if I leave this door open, somebody's definitely going to come steal my cargo, because people in this game are terrible right now. They just don't think. There's no cause and effect in a lot of this stuff, so. Huh. There we go. Alright. So that was bad. I don't know if you saw that. The interaction menu is actually down here. Not fantastic. Let's close this up. Ooh, lost my F key again. Oh, good. Did I just get stuck? There we go. Now I can interact with things again. Okay, got that closed up. Alright. Now to the cargo terminal. Let's try and sell our cargo that we've collected. For anybody who might not know, this is Port Olisar. It's the original station that's basically been in the game in the PU for the longest. This used to be like the only location, and it is a armistice zone, so you cannot fire your weapons around here. Hey, look, they put the NPC back in. This dude used to not be here. I wonder if I can interact with him. Is that a thing yet? It is! I cannot seem to select any of these things. So, Admin 3. The dude's name is Admin 3. That's, okay. Well, oh, there's a dude using that one. Let's see if I can sell that cargo. Uh-huh. Doesn't actually show. Doesn't actually show me having cargo there. It doesn't know about my cargo on the Starfarer. So that's disappointing. That's also bug territory there, I would say. So I'm gonna start a video capture specifically for that, just so I can do less editing for myself later on. Okay, so just found a bug here. I have cargo that I collected from a moon of Selin. I got a single SCU of what I'm assuming is food, because I was at one of the food places, and you can see I don't have the ability to sell it here. Does not appear to be associated with my ship. It's possible that the ship needs to get stored before it will recognize that there's actually something on the ship. So that might be what's going on here. I'll test that out before I do too much as well, but let's see it. Run out here, verify that that crate is still sitting right there. We'll move it once just to see if that causes it to pop up. I went out the wrong airlock, I think. Should have gone to this one over here. Oh well. Oh good, and there's a person here, so I don't actually want to open up my ship, because they're just going to steal my cargo. Ugh. People in this game. Okay. Risk it. Go for it. Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. Close the door. That's interesting. And then some. Just close that up for the moment. I wonder how this dude got in here, because I'm pretty sure the doors are locked. That's kind of fun, though. Aw, you messing up my cargo bay. Set this over here. Needed to move it anyway. Why is it not letting me set it down? Not letting me set down the box. The box is currently attached to my hand again, which is also awesome. Hey! Ooh. Okay then. What actually says what it is on the side? I should check that out here in a little bit once I manage to set it down and not have it do weird things. Oh, nope, it's doing weird things again. All right, let's see. Let's see what it says on the side. Not a big fan of the way that they chose to implement this. So agricultural supplies is what this particular little box is. And honestly, moving around these boxes has been a problematic thing. I feel like they should have simplified it a little bit. Like when I have a box and I'm on a ship, should just be able to like store it on the ship, like put it into inventory and not have to manually place it as much. I think it puts too much of a burden on the player. Alright, so that's there. I'm pretty confident this dude's going to end up screwing with it, which, see what happens there. Go double check that it's not showing up in my inventory, even though I can't even verify that it will still be there because of dude who's on my ship. Oh, come on, open the door. Yep, see, look at him. If I could pull out my gun and just, right now, that's my box, dude. I'm trying to steal my box. Whatever. Let's just go despawn the ship. I'm going to go run a mission. So I'm going to get my Cutlass out. Should be available now. It's my favorite mission ship. Actually has cargo space. Easy to get in and out of. Can decently dogfight, but I usually don't do the actual fighting missions. I don't like to pew-pew that much. Making money. That's where it's at. Moving cargo. One thing I wish that they would do is that when you had a ship on a pad, like my Starfarer is, I wish that from this terminal over here, you were able to despawn your ship. I think that would be good functionality and make it a lot easier, you know, simpler to manage your fleet. Because like right now in here, go over to my Starfarer, it's sitting there. I just push this button to store it. That's what I wish you could go and do. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to spawn neither of these caterpillars, which should have been on that platform because I left both of them at that planet. So hey, at least I can't claim or get them from everywhere. I'm just going to claim them to get them back. Especially since it's such a long claim period. And then let's spawn the Cutlass Black, and hopefully when I do this, it will put the Starfarer away. And I'm kind of hoping that once the Starfarer gets stored, that's when that box that I had in there will come up. But I have a feeling that Duder, who is on my ship, has already managed to screw up any chance of that happening. Thanks, dude. Yep. No joy there. Okay, well. Let's go get my Cutlass, go find a mission. The new Cutlass is pretty flippin' amazing. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll just do a quick run around. It is bigger, so I think it's about the same length, but she is a lot fatter now. And these side doors are pretty amazing. They make you know, getting Marines on and off very easy, very quick. This is a very I'd say it's a superior ship to what it used to be. I think it is a little bit slower. Its armament is not quite as awesome anymore, I feel. It just doesn't seem to be as effective in shooting other ships. I don't personally care about that so much because the thing that makes this amazing is this cargo bay. You can get a lot into this particular space. And you've got the jump seats and everything. The door actually works now. can't tell you for how long this door did not work properly. Oh, hey. Speaking of doors working properly. This is kind of my luck with Cutlass. Cutlass spawned. It actually has its doors and its engines, and now I can't get into the cockpit. So this could be another bug. This could also just be the server being stupid. That happens quite a bit. We'll give it a second here. It's open the side door. You guys can see what that looks like. Pretty awesome, I think. Come on, door. Pretty sure I don't need to click you in any way, shape, or form. Come on, door. Alright, well, yeah, so this has been the Cutlass Black. As you can see, it is an awesome ship made of bugginess and pain and suffering. The joke behind there is that that's pretty much always been the story of the Cutlass. Great ship when it works. And actually, if you think about it in a way, that's kind of the whole story behind Drake as well. Actually, I'm thinking the server is screwing up a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I could see the planet through the crack in the doors there. But anyway, as I was saying with the Drake series, all of them in a way, they're great when they work. That seems to be the general motto of engineering that Drake has adopted. And I'm mostly just making jokes because CIG has the most bugs with the Cutlass, as well as the Caterpillar. Caterpillar is riddled with them right now. I'm sure they'll get that sorted out here at some point in the future, though. All right, let's spawn the Star Kitten, and then respawn the Cutlass and see if that helps. Okay. Where did it? Oh, it's over here. Dude's just hanging out in the airlock here. Kind of funny. Hopefully I actually have a working ship this time. Ooh! This is new and different and interesting. I have never seen this one before. That's really flipping cool. So what's going on right now is Port Olisar is quantum traveling. At least according to the graphics that I am seeing here. So that is the visual effect you get from quantum travel. Oh, actually, it might not be Port Olisar. It might be my Cutlass here that I just spawned. No. No, that is definitely coming from the forward point of Olisar. Interesting. Looks pretty cool, though. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this. I'm thinking from right under here. I hate third-person camera, and this is a little bit buggy. Not so great. Alright, whatever. Just gonna go get in this Cutlass, go see if we can do a mission. I think that this server is probably going to crash pretty soon. This looks like a pretty major bug that's going on right now with the visuals, and as I've been noting, I've been seeing more and more issues. The frame rate has steadily dropped. We're now at holding a little bit above 10 on a regular basis. We were doing 20 when we first started doing this. A little bit higher than 20 even in cases. Hey, let me into the cockpit. So, Cutlass Black cockpit area. Oh, let's see if there's atmosphere in here finally. Yeah, this. There's atmosphere. It's breathable. I can take my helmet off. I'm not going to because I prefer not to die. Even though you should be able to breathe the atmosphere here in the cockpit, I just not going to trust it right now. And I'm sorry, David Sanks, I just saw your message. I was being a bad streamer and didn't have my have any of the messages up there. If you're still around, I will poke around at these screens as soon as I get off of this platform without blowing up. Oh boy. Okay. Wow. Flight controls. Real awkward there. Not sure what that was about. Also doesn't help that it feels like you're moving even though you're not because of this quantum travel effect that's going on. Oh, hey. You see that? That ship over there actually has the brakes like it is in quantum travel. That kind of visual brake. I wonder if that's the ship that's causing this problem that we have going on right now. That person probably found a bug. Yeah, I would say that is the source of our visual effects that are going on right now. That looks like a saber. Is that the comet? It looks kind of like it. I'll get a little bit closer. Nope, that is not the comet. That is just a normal saber. So this person is the cause of our graphical issues that are going on here with the Olisar having a quantum travel effect around it. This is pretty cool, honestly. It could be magnetic storms. It's not different. It would be a different effect. Kind of looks like it though. I'm 100% at this point. I'll say 99, just to be safe. 99% sure that this comet that's right down here initiated a quantum travel while basically landed at Port Olisar, and it caused some sort of crazy situation to occur. It's also possible that guy crashed as well. I would suspect that his client probably crashed out. So this is probably stuck like this now for quite some time. But let's take off. Let's go find a mission. Not that one. I like the missing person ones. They're not too bad. Super easy. Not very profitable. Actually, yeah. Let's try the new content. So recently they added that NPC that I was talking about before, Admin03 or Admin3, who was on the strut that I was on there. He is the NPC that you're supposed to turn in this kind of stuff to. Ooh, check that out. Is it actually telling me where this mission is finally? Maybe they fixed that. Yeah, rec site. Cool. It is. Alright, so it looks like we're going back to selling, so we're going to have to do a little bit of a bounce. Ooh, things are getting a little bit rough. I wonder what's going to happen when I QT inside of a QT. Ooh, even if it'll even let me. Guess that says it's obstructed. I wonder why. Interesting. Got outside of his QT bubble. I wonder if I turn around, if I can see the effects there more. No? Wonder if it'll happen again if I move back in. Or if that was a one-time visual effect thing. Buzzing the pads. It's such a bad idea. Kids, don't do this. This is a note. What I'm doing right there, flying over all of those landing pads, that was stupid. Don't do that. Alright, I'm going to do it again, but this time at quantum speeds, which is probably even stupider. Or not. There we go. Alright, and now time to bounce off to rec site. Getting a little bit of blacking out going on here when I exit out of Quantum. I don't know if that is new or if that's how it's always been. I don't think it's how it's always been. Maybe a little bit of a bug there, something to do with inertia and the way that quantum travel is handled with acceleration, but not too big of a deal. It's only caused me to black out twice since I've been playing. I'm also going to note that we've been streaming for about 2 hours now and no crashes. Not a single crash, 2 hours. I have been non-stop running around doing things. That is a huge stability change from what it used to be. Used to be that basically every hour or so you would end up with a crash. So that's nice to see. Again, the server issues that I've been having, those I think need to be fixed before they can release. There's some general usability and playability things that we've run into so far as well that I think need to be fixed before they're going to be able to release. But if this happened to go on to the public universe right now, I think people would generally be content with it if they were able to maintain this level of performance. And that's the hard part, is I don't know that they've quite figured out that performance. So, looks like that rec site is right between the two OM points. You probably saw when I kicked my afterburner on there, it twisted the ship a little bit. That is a known bug with the Cutlass Black. Like I said, Drake Industries, making lots of buggy ships. Whenever you turn your afterburner on, your ship pulls. Usually to the left now, it used to be to the right. I'm guessing that they tried to fix it, and they fixed it a little bit too well. I don't know. You just moved again. I'm not touching the controls. Let's see. Okay, I'll turn on... Oh, wait. Looks like just toggling it once you're at speed doesn't do anything, but when you do that initial thrust with the afterburners, it definitely twists the ship a little bit, almost like the engines are disproportionate to each other, or they're getting like different power settings. One engine's at like 90%, while the other engine's at 100%, something like that. Don't quite know. We'll see. I'm sure they'll figure it out eventually. So a lot of this stuff makes sense from a software development standpoint. It's just little things that you don't take into consideration. It was kind of funny. During one of the recent ATVs, there was one of their software devs who was talking about a bug in a system that he had originally written. And I think it had to do with the interactions with Miles Eckhart and interaction with NPCs. And he's kind of made the idle comment of you don't really expect somebody to like get up and run away mid-conversation necessarily, and so he hadn't really thought about what would be the exception case for that. I personally try to think of all the ways to break things when I'm writing code, but that was an interesting one to hear that they're running into those issues quite a bit. When you have a couple thousand people all trying to bang on the same hammer, or bang with the same hammer on the same nail, they're going to do it slightly differently each time. And slight different variations, and you can't necessarily account for them all. And exceptions will be thrown, but it's about catching the major exceptions, the things that most people will run into as a problem, the real usability issues. 147 kilometers to go. This one's not that bad. Better than the 350 or 400 that we flew earlier. And we'll try and get down to that rec site, again, without face planting into the side of the moon. Only did that once today. Maybe a couple other times at other points in time. So earlier, if you had been around, you would note that the main planet over there has actually shifted in its orbit. It used to be up a lot more. From where we're coming in from. It's not just because we're on a different side of the planet necessarily, it is rotating around. The orbits are actually happening, and that is really cool to be able to see. The desert planet, Daymar, I believe it is, or maybe it's Delmar, the closer one. It's not a planet, it's a moon. It's pretty cool to be able to watch it and be able to watch the different moons and the different planets rise on the horizon. Just kind of takes some time. There's actually there's a YouTube guy who he did a bunch of time lapses on them, and that was a really cool thing to see, the time lapse footage of the various different stellar bodies kind of moving through and moving by. So we'll burn down this direction a little bit, get a little bit closer. 63 kilometers is pretty far to go. Normally, I don't really recommend that you do maneuvers while you're afterburning. It uses a lot of fuel, but the Cutlass has a pretty big fuel tank, and I'm not going to be down there for too long, so I'm not too worried about running out of hydrogen. Definitely want to start backing off here soon, though. So before, when I was going through the atmosphere, I was having a huge issue with getting it to shed speed like this. This is what I expect it to generally do. I have my engines basically set at 0. I'm using my thrusters to back off. And I just kind of expected it to, gradually reduce speed as I started heading down. And then I could get to normal, just maneuvering speed, and then fly in normally without crashing into the planet. But instead, it didn't want to shed any of that speed, kept me up at 1,000 meters per second, and face planted into the surface of the moon. Highly unfortunate, but these things happen, I suppose. And look, there's somebody down there. Or maybe that's just the wreck is actually showing up on the radar. Not seeing a lot of places to land down there so far. Hopefully there's a flat spot nearby. Do not like landing on hills. Ships have a way of sliding, especially on these moons. Also looks very rocky down there. Might not be able to actually land right next to this wreck. Might have to get inventive. I think that's kind of a clear spot right there, but it looks very angled. We'll see. It's hard to tell. The contrast is a little bit terrible. Yeah, it does look like there's a place to land right next to it. I'm lazy, don't like to walk, so I'm just going to get as close as I possibly can here before I land. And then just because we're on the dark side of the planet here, once I do get the Cutlass to actually anchor to the ground, which you have to be extra careful, because again, Drake, it's a wonderful manufacturer. Their ships like to fly away on their own. So I'm going to be super duper careful. I think I'm fully planted. But unlike last time, I'm actually going to leave the power on and just turn the engines off. And that will keep my headlights on. And that will be useful because I've pointed myself directly at the wreck here. Provide a little bit of illumination. Wouldn't recommend leaving your power plant on forever if you're going to be away from your ship for a long time. Technically, your power plant does use hydrogen fuel. So in theory, you could run out of fuel if you left your power plant on. And you would find yourself unable to escape the planet's gravity well, which would be not fun. So that would be some of the guns from this ship, just kind of floating here in space. that is embarrassing for them. So what I'm going to do here is, if I can remember how to, I think it's, nope, I don't remember what that command is. One second, I'm going to go look that up real quick. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them the 3D locational grid so that it is easier for the developers to know where I'm talking about, because this is just a random crash site. Interesting, not finding it on that one. If anybody happens to know off the top of their head what the command that I'm looking for is, please do speak up. I wonder if it's just our show location. That might be it. Nope. I know I've used this command before. Don't worry, I won't keep you in suspense for too much longer. Alright, not finding it. That's fine, just move on. Just take a note of what mission this was. Seem to now be missing this mission. It's in my history as opposed to in my accepted, so that's not how that's supposed to be going on right now. So I need to recover the ship's data recorder, but it almost looks like I've failed this mission somehow already, which if that's the case, I'm going to be a little bit curious. I think that would mean that the Starfarer or whatever it was that I saw there that took off before me got this black box. There might have only been one. That would be a bit annoying. I would say that that would be a bug. Definitely the kind of thing that I would want to try and repeat with some friends. Hey, there's a cargo box up there. Some cargo over here. Alright, let's try this whole cargo thing again. So, I will really want like a Gravlev little kind of dolly, you know, something that I can put these boxes on and pull them around with. I think it should be, you know, the kind of thing that you just like a little sled that you can bring around with you. I don't think that having a dragonfly or something like that with you all of the time is really how it should be. Also, none of those vehicles have very good cargo capacity. They only enable you to go a bit faster, really. I think the most that you got on them is like 2 SCU. I think the Ursa Rover might have a little bit more, but it's still not great. And I want something, like, I think I should be able to get 6 SCU on a little sled. That seems like it would be reasonable. Ah, cool. So before, when we were in our Starfarer, this is how it's supposed to look. You're supposed to, when you have it placed over a place where you can actually put the cargo unit down, you should be able to see the little box while you're holding the trigger button, and then you can just place it down there. Your character will walk up, set it down on the ground, and yata. It is now in your cargo bay. Alright, I'm going to go grab a couple more things just because I'm greedy, and I really do want this to work. I think this is the time. And apparently, since I failed my mission to come out here somehow, might as well get something out of it. So some of the other missions, your job is to find people who are dead out here. This dude, definitely not looking so good. His hair is also a little bit messed up there. I don't know if you guys have seen in some of the bug reports that they've been putting, or that they say that they've been fixing. They've been fixing people who've got crazy hair that's going wrong. I guess it's a big enough issue that they actually had to pull a couple of NPCs from the verse and just not use those models because their hair is doing all sorts of badness. Seems a little bit too much about hair, but you know. All right. Is there any reason for me to come back over? Ooh, losing control. Any reason for me to come back over here? I don't think that I can get up there to whatever that blue crate is. Just not quite sure how I'd pull that off. Unless there's stairwells. There's stairs. Ooh. There's all sorts of crates. All right. This is definitely one of those situations where having a dedicated pilot and then a dedicated crew could be extremely useful. So if you had a dedicated pilot, I would frankly just go move the ship a little bit closer. I'm probably going to do that anyway because there were a lot more crates in there, and I do want to grab them. I want to kind of see how many I can get on here, and if I can actually get them and sell them, that'll be good. That was cool. That just kind of snapped into the proper place. Let's move up a little bit, get closer to where the cargo is. Game is getting a little bit funkier in its controls. Again, I think a lot of that has to do with the server loads. They've kind of indicated as much before. To turn the engines on. Okay. Another note, if any SIG developers are watching, I know that they aren't, but if they happen to be, you should have lights all around your ship that illuminate all of the area around your ship, not just directly in front of you. It is silly to design your lights the way that they have been designed. It's like right there. Now I can kind of see that there is something that I was about to land on. But I nearly landed on it. Oh, come on. You can do it. You can stick. No! Stop trying to pop a wheelie. Okay, I think I got it there. Engine off. Climb out again. Another dead body there. Another dead body there. Ooh, that one's actually in a different uniform. His head's missing. Guessing this is buried under there. You can kind of see the front of the helmet there, but yeah, the dude's head's basically missing. What are you? Like raw materials. These are probably worth only about 2 UEC each, which is not great, frankly. A couple UEC is not going to get you a lot, but it's not really costing me anything to sit here and do this, so might as well pick them up while I'm here. Try and get these stacked up neatly as I can. Looks like, so that's metals. These other two, I wonder if those are the flight recorders. No, nope, nope. It's on the side here. These are crystalline materials. All right. And we'll go grab one of these blue crates, and I have, once again, the low gravity jumping onto the surface and getting stuck. Not sure what just happened. That was a little bit buggy. Okay, stay away from those debris. Let's grab, is that a box? Yeah, there's another metals box there. Let's grab this blue one. See what the blue one is. So one other issue that I found when doing these crashed missions and whatnot is that there tends to be a lot of places where you can fall into and not get out. The ships were not really designed to be able to navigate them when they're upside down or on their sides very significantly. A little bit problematic there. Let's see, what is this? Does it say? It might have said on this other side. Go find another one. So I'd imagine that this is probably a lot of what you'll be doing early on in Star Citizen is you'll find crashes like this. Probably won't have a lot of the equipment or resources needed to be able to heavily utilize them. Getting some significant lag. Significant issues moving around. But anyways, as I was saying, you probably won't have the right equipment or knowledge or ability to really go and salvage these things heavily. So you'll probably just be hopping onto these ships, finding modules that have still some life to them, and also probably grabbing crates like I'm doing right now. There's a couple more crates that I'll try and grab. There's also another side of this ship that I'll try and get to and see if I can't find anything else it's worth a little bit more, because like these boxes are not worth very much. Although I've just lost my F key again. There it is. So the F key by default, for anybody who doesn't know and doesn't follow along and Star Citizen regularly, it's how you interact with things. So when you want to actually push a button or pick something up, push the F key. Sometimes hold the F key. Oh, come on. I wonder what that was. What did that do? It just dropped it on the ground. Okay. That's not what I want to do. It's not nearly neat enough. Put that right there. Yeah, good enough. Here's some medical supplies. Those are worth a bit of money. Ugh. Grab this blue one. Not sure what it is, but, grab it anyway. Hey, that totally did not work. I would say that's a bug. I don't think that's how that's supposed to function there. Let's try putting it on top of the one that's like it. Maybe that was the issue. Pretty sure that you should be able to stack these things up a little bit. Yeah, maybe they have to be similar kinds. We'll try that out with this medical one that I'm about to go grab. Oh, hey. Haven't seen one of those yet either. Alright. Oops. What is going on here? Lots of control issues around these wrecks. So a lot of the times where you see me just kind of like randomly looking in a direction or kind of spinning around and flailing, that's not me doing anything. That is just the game freaking out a little bit. Okay. No, I don't want to throw it on the ground. Let's see if I can stack it here now. Oof. Oof. Harsh. Does not work very well. That's going to be problematic. I think at scale that's going to be something that they will need to figure out a little bit more, because you should be able to stack those crates pretty tall. It is kind of one of the core mechanics of that particular cargo bay. Alright, so it looks like I've got at least one more in here. That is more of the crystalline minerals, which I think are actually worth a decent amount. I want to say that those are like 10 UEC or something like that. Like the medical supplies, I think are like 40. So that one medical supply crate that I picked up is probably worth about as much as like maybe half a mission in many cases. Like right here, this loot that I've picked up so far outweighs the cost of the mission that I somehow failed. Again, I think that other dude stole the only black box that had spawned here, and the mission went to a failure state because there was no more black box for me to grab. That is probably a bug. I will probably be trying to repeat that again in another session, just because it's a weird one. Can't quite identify what happened, and just stating that this bad thing happened isn't going to be very useful to the devs. I want to be able to provide them with, kind of instructions on how to actually repeat it. Stuck to the ground again. It's happened every time right there. It's annoying. That animation was a little bit buggy there. It looked like I almost put my face into the medical crate. It's alright. Pretty forgiving on that kind of stuff. Oh, come on. Alright. I think that is all of our crates here. Wow. Wow. Super buggy. Okay. Now I need to try and see if I can get up here. Don't think I can, though. I have this fear that I'm going to get stuck if I do. Looking right inside the face there. All right. So there, on the other side of these doors, which I don't even know if those doors would open, there's another one of those blue crates. I'm not going to mess around with it too much more. It's just not worth it, especially in the alpha where the money doesn't actually matter, mostly just trying to play around with things. So I have now successfully grabbed all of the things that I can see to grab here. Huge number of terrain issues here. This terrain is really sketchy at best. It looks like there's almost 2 ships that crashed here. There's this one, and then there's this stuff over here. I'm not quite sure what that's about. I'm not even familiar with this ship. Oh, there's more parts over here. Hey, is that a... There's a lot of light coming from somewhere all of a sudden. Let's go look up here, though. Might be something interesting up here. I think, however, these are the engines for the ship. Yep, looking like the engines. Don't think I'm going to find anything good here. Ah, there is somebody else here. Hopefully they don't decide to get too cheeky with me. Oh, hey, look. See? Good thing I came this way. More goodies. Whoa. Okay, let's put this down. Come on. There you go. Fantastic. Yeah, it might be a caterpillar, but it's like missing parts of what I would expect the caterpillar to have. Like, there's not enough debris in my mind for this to be a caterpillar. Might be. Looks like it. The color scheme is appropriate. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a caterpillar door right there. There's just a lot of sections missing, which, I don't know. That's fine. Alright. Let's get out of here. Let's go back to Port Olisar. See if we can get this cargo sold. Again, people love to hop on your ship and then try and steal your stuff immediately upon landing. It's really quite annoying. I've lost my interaction screen again. Can't get my F key up. That's freaking awesome. probably means I won't be able to get into the pilot seat either. Tasty. So most of the times that stuff like this happens, I found that pushing random buttons is very useful. Like opening your mobiGlas right there. Oh, for a moment was doing something. There we go. Does not want to close the doors with the hotkey to close the doors. Let's see if I can find that on here. Engines, doors. Here we go. Come on, let me go to close. And we're off, and again, sticking to the surface of the planet, making the takeoff really super sketchy. We're fine. Okay. Get back out here into space. While I'm doing that, plot the course here to Olisar. One thing that I think that they'll need to also do is they're going to need to be able to do like multiple different legs of a journey. So here I should be able to set my destination to Olisar and then, from COM. So go COM, then over to Olisar, but instead it tries to plot a direct course each time. It's going to make multiple jumps complicated, I think. You can see the ship pulling around a little bit again as I kick the afterburners on. Just a little bit of an engine imbalance or something like that, I think. And then as soon as I break atmosphere here, I should be able to quantum travel over to the comm array that I selected there, and then from there I'll quantum travel back to Port Olisar. We'll be landing, and then we're going to see if we can actually sell some cargo. Kind of have a feeling it's not going to work again just because alpha bugs, but one can only hope, right? Here we go. Went the long way for it. So these short little jumps, 40,000 kilometers or so, they're pretty fast. Managed to get through them pretty quickly. The longer ones will take more time. Maybe after I go to Port Olisar, I'll show you guys the longer jump to Deamar, which is the furthest out location that you can currently get to. I believe so. I might be wrong about that. You might be able to get to ArcCorp now, but I don't think, last I checked, I don't think you could. So now that we're at Port Olisar again, we're going to just kind of pull through here. I like being risky and flying through the rings. Probably want to avoid being right over the landing pads for the most part. People have a tendency to just take off vertically. Let's get our landing pad requested and see if we can't sell this cargo. As was earlier, it was being super buggy about not actually giving me the verbal prompts for the landing pad. So that's why I just kind of clicked the request button and then immediately closed it. Let's use the auto landing. Kind of seems like the auto landing's doing something weird here, though. Seems like my ship is getting further away from the station, as opposed to closer to the station. Yep, that's definitely what's happening. So I have lost control of my ship at this point. Alright, I was able to put the landing gear up. I think that cancels the auto landing. Yeah, okay, cool. We'll land manually then. So I'm flying the Drake Black right now solo, and I think that for the most part you will be able to operate it solo. Your co-pilot can help you with things like managing your power systems, or talking to the landing pads, making sure that you can actually get landing permission. They also can take control of your secondary guns. There's a turret on the Black here at the top as well. Having an NPC in there or another player in there could also be super useful. I think we're touched down now. But right now I'm just operating it solo. There are no NPCs that can help you. Oh, we are sliding across the deck there, aren't we? Okay, I think we finally stopped. Again, very alpha. Lots of little things that go on. Once you figure out what they are, though, it tends to be pretty easy to just kind of keep track of it all. Yeah, no problem. Definitely, guys, if you have questions, if you want to see specific things, speak up. I'm just kind of roaming around looking for things that don't work right. Already found probably about a half dozen different bugs that I'll be reporting later. Although I might need to reload in if I can't interact with anything. Oh, there's my interaction. Come on. There we go. I think they have this currently broken. I like trying to close the door again because it keeps vandals out. I'm not talking about vandal swarm, be the bad guys. I'm just talking about random players who like to try and grab your stuff. So hopefully nobody goes and messes with those crates before we're able to get in here and get them sold. If it'll even let me. I have a feeling it's not going to let me. And if that's the case, then yay, bug confirmed. You cannot just drop cargo onto your ship and then sell it at these terminals like you should be able to. Hey, look! Stuff! Oh my gosh, that's amazing. 480 UEC? Wow! So 480 UEC is more than a couple of missions. That is really freaking awesome. That one medical crate was worth more than the entire mission was that I had actually gone down there to do. So that is really cool. You see a lot of this other stuff is worth a lot. Like the cargo that I found from that crash site was worth more than several missions. I think salvage is going to be a pretty good area to go into. I think mining as well is also going to be pretty freaking profitable. It looks like I found some diamonds. Those are worth a lot. It's another 162 UEC that I got there. So probably the most money that I've made in all of my 3.0 testing right here. You'll see I have a million UEC. That's just, they start you off with that. Alright, well that was really cool. I'm really glad that that worked. That gives me a lot of hope there about things probably getting released sooner rather than later. Let's see. 846 UEC. That is a decent chunk of change. Not a lot, but certainly a decent chunk of change. That's pretty cool. All right, now I gotta find something else to go do. Let's see. Let's go to Tamar. Show you guys the. Damar's actually not. Maybe we'll go to Delmar first. We'll go to Delmar first, then we'll go to Damar. Looks like my ship has started to float off of the pad a little bit. Like I said before, these things are a little bit funky. The interaction's getting bad too. Huh. That's not right. Figures. As soon as I as soon as I give up on it actually working, it starts working. All right. Ugh, stuck to the deck again. Woo! It's always fun. Taking off after doing manual landings seems to be a little bit buggy. All right. Set full speed and pull up my mobi-glass. Okay, Damar first. Huh. That's normally missile lock. I'm going to assume that somebody's trying to shoot at me now. I'm going to get out of here. This is Damar. Pretty cool planet. I think they did a really good job of making this a kind of deserty, interesting planet to go check out. I'm going to just quickly, I'll go down to the surface on the light side, and you can kind of see what some of it looks like. The other day, we did end up going and finding the crashed Javelin. I believe it's on this one. Yeah, it's between this Dunlow emergency shelter, which is on the other side of the planet, and then the ArcCorp one, which I think is, yeah, right down there. So if you draw a line between these two on the other side of the planet, and then go to the left of it, which again, you'd have to think rotate the planet. Actually, let's just go over there. Go over there instead. Maybe we'll get lucky and I'll be able to fly right at the Javelin. Probably not. It took me like an hour to find. And that was with generally knowing where I was supposed to be going. Like, with the directions, it still was not easy to find. So to provide a little bit more explanation for some people who don't know, the Javelin is a destroyer-sized ship. And there is one that is crashed onto the surface of this planet, or moon, sorry, this is a moon, over here. It's kind of one of those little fun things to find. They originally demoed that in a tech demo a long time ago. Okay, so let's see if I can explain it a little bit here. So Dunlow's there. Arc is down there. So if you draw a line directly between Dunlow here and Arc here, and then fly basically at the center point of that line and a little bit to the left, you will find it. So it's basically somewhere right around in here. And you just basically fly around. I'm not going to do it right now because it's on the dark side, and it is a pain in the butt to find on the dark side. You don't want to do that, trust me. We wasted a bunch of time, and then during the day it was pretty easy to see. But still, you had to be fairly close. Like, I think we were probably about... I don't know, 100 meters away, and we were able to generally see, hey, that looks like something. Maybe it was a little bit less, somewhere between 60 and 100 sounds about right. Anyway, we'll just fly down here to the surface down here and take a look so you guys can kind of see what the surface looks like, see what some of the canyons look like. It's pretty cool. I think they did a very good job with this particular planet. Or, again, moon, not a planet. Also another one of those kind of enjoyable things. There's no loading screens. It's nice to be able to just fly around, go from place to place, never really have to worry about too much other than my quantum fuel right here, which if run out of quantum fuel, in a lot of trouble. That's where you just give up at that point. Call a friend, tell them to come pick you up. Hopefully they've got a Starfarer that can refuel you. The hydrogen fuel, if you let it get to 0, that's bad news bears, but for the most part, as long as you're above 0, you'll be able to figure something out to be able to regen. In theory, you should be able to land on the surface of a planet and just sit there doing nothing and regenerate hydrogen fuel, in theory. I have not seen that actually working, and if it is, it's working so slowly that it's really not worth it. If you can get out of the atmosphere, then all you have to do is fly at normal flying speed, just set whatever your maximum throttle is, and then just fly in a direction and you'll regenerate some hydrogen. So you'll probably see here as we're flying along, just went from 77 to 78. Even though we set afterburn because we're not in an atmosphere right now, there's nothing to slow us down. So we're just at full speed. We will be until we get a little bit closer here to the surface of the planet. One thing that people have said that they get confused on very easily, so you'll see that these are like 625, 595, 538. These are all on the other side of the planet. The markers show up all the way through. Some people might think that's self-explanatory. Others get very confused by it and try and fly directly from point A to point B, which involves flying through the surface of the planet, which I suppose if you were able to get through the surface of the planet, you'd be fine, because as someone who has fallen through the surface of a planet before, there's nothing down there. You just fall forever for the most part. So in theory, if you could break through one side and then get inside, I would imagine that you'd be able to just fly out the other side of the planet and not have too much of a problem. But not the generally recommended course, for sure. And then, as I've mentioned before, the surface textures are incredibly misleading. It is very hard to tell what your actual altitude is. There is an altimeter. Is that the right word? It's close enough. You know what I mean. There is an altitude gauge that comes up once you're in the atmosphere, but I found it to be wildly inaccurate. Sometimes it says you have a very large distance, other times not. This is also another cool one, because there's actually an atmosphere on this moon, a little bit of burn through. Okay. We'll start shedding some speed here. Probably not going to shed enough speed fast enough. See, completely different results between different attempts. Thankfully, your ships are basically indestructible at this point, so not too much to worry about there. The interesting thing is that I'm pretty sure that while I was falling there, if I'd actually put my landing gear down, that it probably would have broken whatever that particular issue is, and I would have been able to slow down pretty quickly. So, as I was noting before, I do like to fly inverted on these surfaces of these planets for the most part. It makes it a little bit easier to navigate around, find where you're going. But pretty diverse terrain. Not a lot of characteristic to the terrain. There's not a lot to see necessarily. But it is pretty varied. There's nice weathering patterns. I want to go try and find one of the big trenches. We'll see if I actually get to one of those. I think I might be on the exact opposite side of the planet from most of that stuff. The dust storms that happen on this planet and just the general dust kick-up that happens on this planet can make it pretty impossible to see. Like right now, you can see I can barely see my HUD. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there should be a way to change that and make it so that your HUD then turns into like black instead of the light green that's there. You guys may have seen one of the tech demos that they did for Star Citizen not too long ago. They flying through a cavern or canyon, doing like a little canyon run. That was on this moon. So it's kind of like this. Oh no, too much inertia going around the corner. Oh boy. I am locking up now. We'll see if we come out of this. This is the CPU spike issue. And not good. May have just killed the server. I might have just broken that server. That's a possibility there. My bad. All right, I'm gonna go try out this other bug that I had found earlier on the issue council. So basically, there's the other bug that I had originally kind of set out to do, and here I can pop that up real quick. Let's see if I can get this right. Suffocation without a helmet in hangar, aero view, VFG. So I guess taking off your helmet, you hear choking sounds, and then you suffocate. This is an issue that I've seen in a lot of different places. I don't know if they care about the hangars in the current 3.0. I kind of feel like they don't, but this is a pretty easy bug for me to be able to go and check and just try and reproduce, and it's got 4 out of 5. It's expiring soon, so this is the kind of stuff I like to do. If you're unfamiliar with the issue council, this is how all of the bugs for Star Citizen get reported from the player base. I think the Evocati also use a similar system or the same system. If you're in the PTU, it's super duper important, just critically important that you help participate in this. Otherwise, the game does not get any better, and people, aren't going to, be able to find out what actually needs to be fixed. So anyway, I'll just quickly kick that out of here. We'll go back into load into Aero View. Cool. So in theory, right here, I should not have an atmosphere. Have an atmosphere. So I'm guessing that that is not necessarily the issue, but let's take the helmet off and see what happens. Maybe they already fixed this issue. There's one could not reproduce on the thing already where the guy said he couldn't reproduce the issue. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to run around a little bit, try various different places in the Aero View, kind of get up next to these hangar doors and see. I have a feeling, though, that this is just going to work everywhere. Maybe since we're in Aero View real quick, we'll spawn a couple of ships you guys can take a look at. So right now I'm getting 70 frames per second. Hopefully it's coming across well in the stream that frame rate is that high, up to 82, 84, going up to 90. All right, let's see if I can find one of these spawn points. That's a 1, 2. That's a 3. I think 3s are all you need. This is not all of the ships that I think you should be able to spawn in here, but that's fine. I actually kind of like the look of this ship. They're a pretty decent little drop ships, I believe. I think the Hoplites is supposed to be a drop ship. Does look like things are a little bit screwed up here. Ooh. Pretty sure that this is not supposed to be hanging out of the ceiling here. But known issue that your ship's spawning in the hangar is super broken. That's been a known issue for a little bit. Well, let's finish checking the thing that we're here to check, which is, can I breathe? And so far, breathing going well. Pretty sure that elevator is supposed to work. like really confident that this is supposed to open up. Because how else are you supposed to get up there? Don't think it's that one yet. It should be just here. Alright. Anyway, I'm going to call this one not reproducible. Not quite sure. It was originally submitted on December 7th, so before the current patch. They might have fixed it in the current patch. I'm going to go back to the menu, and then I'll just kind of, I guess, might as well walk you through how to do this. So refresh this. Contribute. Cannot reproduce. You can put a comment in here for the most part, like just kind of saying, this is what I tried, this is what I did. I'm just going to note, I'm not going to include any media. A lot of times I'll take video and include the video, but in this particular case, if I'm doing a cannot reproduce, I'm not going to bother. It's a lot of effort to go through to be able to do that. Unfortunately, I have a feeling this bug is probably been already fixed or something along those lines. Definitely worth contributing to into the issue council. Definitely take a look at all that. And I think I'm going to take a break from the stream. So sorry guys, I know there's a bunch of you watching, but haven't had any questions in a while, and I could use some food. So thank you very much for watching, and probably be streaming a bit more throughout the week, just here and there, doing some more 3.0 testing and that kind of a thing. So thanks for watching.